What has always been inside Unit 31 or 40? Part 4 of 4. He heard the donut 3-1 open. Not saw, heard, through the floor, through the building's bones, the specific click of that particular latch disengaging. It vibrated up through the concrete under his feet like a tuning fork struck against the skull of the building. He was on his feet before he decided to stand. He crossed to the door of the 41st floor room. It had no handle on the inside. He ran both palms across it anyway, nothing. He turned and looked at the room, the desk, the lamp, the ledger with his 4-word message to himself. He picked up the ledger. He turned to the first page. He looked at the very first entry, day 1, 470, 3 days ago. He had never read day 1, he read it now. It said the subject volunteered. Standard intake protocol completed. Subject's prior life, employment records, communications, personal history, archived and held in suspension pending completion of the extraction cycle. Subject signed consent documentation and was assigned Unit 30. The subject requested that his memory be cleared between cycles to prevent psychological deterioration. He read it 3 more times. He had volunteered. He had signed the paperwork. He had asked them to erase his memory between cycles to prevent himself from going mad doing whatever it was he had agreed to do. He turned to the page he had never been able to access before. The intake document attached to the inside back cover of the ledger. It listed the purpose of the extraction cycle in 6 lines of the same thin blue ink. He read alls. He sat back down in the chair. He sat there for a long time without moving. The room stopped vibrating. The door behind him opened on its own. He stood. He walked back out into the white corridor. He walked back through the stairwell. He descended to the 34th floor. The hallway was not empty this time. Every door on the 34th floor was open. In the frame of each door stood a resident of the Meridian, 42 people, each in their own doorway, each looking at him. He had never seen any of them before. He recognized all of them. They were the names from the sub-ledger, the 42 other subjects. They were all looking at him because he was the last. He was day 473. He was the one who had retained memory. He was the completion of the cycle. He was the key that opened 340. He walked down the hallway, Unit 340's open door. He did not look at the people in the doorways as he passed them. He stopped at the threshold of 340. The room inside was not an apartment. It was vast, far larger than any room that could fit inside the building's footprint. And it was dark except for a column of amber light rising from the center of the floor. Inside the column of light stood the entity. It was not facing away from him, it was facing him. Its blank face, smooth where the eyes should be, the lipless mouth wide and open, was turned directly toward the door. But the entity in the column of light was smaller than the one he had seen in the elevator. It was the size of a person. Its fingers were almost normal length. Its skin still carried the amber hairline cracks. But they were bright, almost golden now, pulsing in a slow rhythm that matched his heartbeat exactly. The intake document had said it very plainly in the 4th line. The entity was not a predator. It was not a captor. It was an accumulation. It was built from the residual consciousness of each subject who completed a cycle. Every thought, every memory recovered, every moment of retention added to its form over 473 days. It was built from him. And now it needed the last piece, the full sequential memory. Everything he had retained today. Rafiq stood in the doorway of Unit 340 and understood what he had signed. He understood what it meant that the entity's fingers were almost the right length now. He understood what the amber light was. He looked at the entity for a long time. It waited with an absolute patience that was, he realized, his own patience. He reached into his jacket pocket and took out his notebook. He opened it to the first page. He wrote 4 words in the darkest ink he had. He tore the page out. He folded it once. He set it on the floor of the hallway just outside the threshold of Unit 340, weighted under his glasses. He closed his eyes. He stepped through the door. The door to Unit 340 closed behind him, and the hallway was quiet. The 42 residents returned to their rooms, and on the floor outside the door, beneath his folded glasses, the note he had left for whoever came next read, "The Meridian never sleeps, and neither will you." That's it for part 4 of all Untold lores. For part 1 of our next story. Like and subscribe for daily stories.